Well, g'day everybody and welcome to another episode of Fishing with Fergie. Today I'm in Western Port. It's the middle of April now. It's big squid time. This is the time of the year that the big squid start coming in. So I'm along here, I'm going to do tie-up and quail bank today predominantly. I've got a low tide at 11:30, so it's just about 8:30, nearly 9 o'clock now. I always like that last 2 hours of the run out tide and the first hour of the flood. So my goal today is to get 10 big squid, start stocking the freezer up for the snapper. So today, water, beautifully clear water, very, very clean. I'm going to use the green, which is in the Major Craft Eggizo range, and this one they call brown, but it's actually a reddy brown. I'm going to be casting that as well. I'm going to run 2 sleepers out the back here, just drifting behind the boat, and I'm going to be casting a 3rd rod. So the goal is here to start in around that 2 meters and drift out to 5. Although I have got a very, very slight southerly, which is actually pushing me up along the bank at the moment. So that may have to change. I might be starting in sort of 3.5, 4, drifting back into 2s at the moment. It's actually going to push me against the tide by the looks. So stay tuned. Hopefully we're going to catch a few squid together. I'm going to teach you a few tricks. Oh, that's a real one. Oh, that's got a lot of weight. Just casting the jig around here on a minute at the moment, 2.7. And this is a big squid. Whoa, that's got a lot of weight. There it is, just come up out the back. That's a real squid, that one. At first I thought I was snagged, which is often the case on these big ones. I went, oh, snag. Then I went, oh, maybe cuttlefish. And then I started pulling line, which is often some of these true monsters do. This is a big squid. It's the first one of the morning. It's funny, I just dropped the anchor because I'm about to get a phone call. I've got to do a phone call for a few minutes. So I dropped the anchor to do it. I thought I'll have one quick cast before the call comes. Hopefully they don't ring me just yet. Oh no. Oh no. That is a cracking squid. Yep, get rid of all your ink out there, buddy. That is the stuff I'm after today, Western Port Giants. That's probably 37, 38 centimetres. They get a lot bigger than that. Today I hope to get one in that 43 to 45 centimetre hood. Look at that for a beautiful big squid. That is a good start to the morning. Well everybody, I'm just going to explain some of the techniques that I'm using here. Now I've just finished that phone call, so what I've done, because I dropped the anchor, I'm staying here for the moment. I'm going to stay at anchor for the next 10 minutes, because I know there was a big squid here. I just got that big squid and they're rarely on their own. So I'm just going to pepper casts around here for the next sort of 10 or 15 minutes without drifting. Because often when you get one big squid, there'll be multiple big squid in that area. And there we go. Oh! That was a squid, and that was a good squid, and he just grabbed the jig, took off 3 or 4 lunges, and pulled the barb. So what I've actually just done is I've opened the bail arm. I lost it, so I've opened the bail arm. There we go, live on camera. What I did, I opened the bail, let back about 1 metre of line, and just let that jig sink back. I just dropped my hand back like that to let the jig sink, so that the squid sees it. He goes, hey, I've wounded that. And he come back for it. Now this is back on again, and that's a good squid. So you just saw that probably took 5 to 8 seconds to re-catch that squid. Whether it's the same one or it was his mate, they're competitive, and when they switch on, they get very competitive. So he's just popped up out the back here now. That's a big squid too. So as you saw, I got a hit. I lost it. I went, ah, man, lost that squid. Open the bail arm, give it a meter, give it a flick, let it sink so that it really looks wounded. And here's the result. He came back and ate it. You got to see that live. So I'm just going to get this squid up to the boat and net him. He is a very good squid again. Now I have also got 2 rods out the back here as sleepers. The good thing about those sleepers, often a big squid, I'm just bringing him right over near the sleepers at the moment, because he might have a mate, and his mate will see the other jigs in the water and grab one of them, and hopefully I can convert and get his mate. That is a very good squid. Look at that, beautiful big squid. And in the net. That is a big squid. Look at that. That's probably similar length to the last one, but it's heavier. Put him in the bait tank. So that's 2 cracking big squid here. Another squid on. I have changed up. I pulled the anchor now and I've gone back onto the drift. Now I've got a tide going out, so I should be drifting south, but there's just like a tiniest of wind. It's like I'm only about 3 or 4 knots and the tide's not roaring, so the wind's actually pushing me against the tide. So what I did, I've gone back south and I geared my drift up to take me back over where I caught those squid before at anchor. And here's the result. Another squid. He's not a monster like the others, but he is a good squid. Very good bait size squid. Yeah, it's probably a 25 centimetre hood. Beautiful squid for bait. Good for eating, I guess, too. If you do those silly things like eat squid. So all I did, I said I am drifting now. So cast ahead of my drift. I always like to be casting ahead because I want to let that jig sink without any current drag on it. So I've cast ahead of it, 2.5, 2.6 meters of water. I'll let that sink for about 8 or 9 seconds, which we're pretty much at about now. And just pick it up and get it up off the bottom. Give it a couple of whips up off the bottom, let it sink again. And that's all I was doing when I hooked up that squid. All right, and there we go again. Whoa, look at that. That is when you know it's a bloody big squid. So I was just doing as I said, I'd cast it out, let it sink 4 seconds per meter, gave it a couple of whips, let it sink, gave it a whip, let it sink, and I went to lift it to do the next whip, and I was tight. Oh, this has got a lot of weight. How good was that first run? Oh, there it goes again. That's why it's important when you buy your reels for squid. They don't have to be expensive, guys. You don't have to spend hundreds. You don't need a Stella. Just make sure it's got a very smooth drag. And you don't want to fish stupid hard drags either, because you might only have them on one tentacle. Look at that. And that's where you need that drag to be very silky smooth. I'm using the Shimano Naskis. They're a $150 reel. They're not crazy, but you can get away with the little Siennas at like 70 bucks too. They're a good little reel with a smooth drag. You don't need big dollars on squidding. Man, it's a pity the camera can't see this squid out the back. It's a big, big squid. I wanted the giants, I found the giants. Oh, no, let's get ready to net him. This is as big or bigger than the last two. Oh, that is a monster. That is the squid of the morning. Wait, I'll show you this in a moment. Don't eat. Oh, I thought he was going to eat me. Look at that. I wanted a monster. That is a monster. Let's have a quick look. 40 centimetre hood. So that is a genuine Kraken. That is a 40 centimetre hood. That's going to be probably a 1.8, 1.9 kilo squid, might even crack 2 kilos. Look at that. I just wound my jig back into cast and I saw this cracking big squid following my jig up. And there you go. That is why you buy yourself really good Polaroids, guys. I wear Maui Gyms. Yeah, I'm affiliated with them, but I've worn nearly all brands of glasses over the last sort of 15 years, all the major brands. The Maui Gyms are simply the best. I just wound that jig in pretty quickly. I was going to cast back out the other side here. And as I pulled the jig out to clean a little bit of weed off it, I glanced back in the water and about a metre down, I saw this nice squid. He'd followed the jig all the way in. So I just quickly threw that jig back in, still with a bit of weed on it, and just free spooled it and just let it sink. and I saw the line starting to come off a bit quicker, close the bail arm over, squid on. So as I say, invest in good Polaroids. If you haven't got them, go and buy them. They are invaluable. I would not have caught this squid if I hadn't had these Polaroids, because I wouldn't have seen it. Even more important than getting that squid in the esky is get that jig back in the water. Ah, don't try and bite me. Look at that, beautiful squid just trying to eat my hand. As I said, he followed that jig in as I wound it in to recast it. And I just saw him out the back, threw the jig back in and caught him. Beautiful. Just cast that jig out. I had it sinking and I just picked it up to give it its first whip, and there was weight there. At first I thought I was snagged, but nah, as a squid had picked it up on the fall. As I said before, most of the time the squid eat it on the drop. But still, it's a quality squid. That's another 24, 25 centimetre hood. Nice. Finally, the sleeper has actually done something. I've just been drifting over a heap of bait fish here. The sound is showing a lot of bait, and I thought there's got to be some squid here. I had done a bit of a move, I'd gone a little bit deeper, and I was just about to pull the rods in and go, and I looked over and just saw this rod tip just buckle over. I only got him on one candle by the looks. It's not a bad squid. It's going to give this other rod a bit of a wind. I just cast it out. It's going to end up snagged on the bottom otherwise. The sleepers have been really quiet this morning. They've all been taken by casting. That's how it is some days, but this one's eating a sleeper, which is good. Oh, he was in the net and he got out. That time he didn't though. It's not one of the monsters I've been getting, but it's a pretty good squid. It's like the other ones, that sort of 25, 26 centimetre hood. Good fish. And I think that means I'll do a few more casts here before I leave. I was actually about to leave, remember? I just said that I was going to go. Well, nah. I'll stay here for a little bit longer now. Put this rod back out the back as a sleeper again. That was on that Reddy Brown Major Craft, that one. Beautiful morning, no wind really. A little bit of drizzly rain here and there. And I'm just drifting along out here, mate. Look, you can see the conditions on the camera. It's a sheet of glass. What a beautiful day. It's meant to be 21 degrees, 22 degrees today, but so far it's not getting there. But hey, I'm out here in Western Port, drifting along, catching a good, bag of squid for bait. Yep, that's a real one again. They're about in 4.5 metres now. We're getting to that stage of the tide. I've got probably only got about an hour left, 40 minutes left in the run out tide. So I've gone deeper, and this is a good squid. Whey. That's taking some good runs, good lunges. Yeah, it's still going. Still got some good runs in this one. It's a bloody good fish. There it comes, just come to the surface. Yeah, it's a nice squid. Ready for him. Just leave the net hooked up there for a second. Alright, what I'm doing, just letting that ink drain out of him, but get that jig back out there. When you catch a big squid like that, often his mate's in the area and he'll be just as big or bigger. Oh, look at that for a kraken. That's another 40 centimetre hood. Beautiful big squid. God, I love those big squid. Well, there you go. The tide is literally just started to run back in. It's just turned, and pretty much very first cast, bang, on goes the squid. They are such a creature of habit when it comes to tide changes, guys. They love, guys and girls, they do love the tide changes. So quite often you know the tide's turned by the squid biting more than the boat turning. As soon as that tide switches to the flood from the slack, those squid just switch on really good. Let's see how we go here. Feels like it's got a bit of weight in it. Hey, pulling some line. That's what I want. There it is on the water. Just come up to the surface now. Oh! Yep. I just got sprayed. Ink, water, predominantly water. Oh my God. Just as I put him in the net, he looked at the boat and just unloaded. The side of the boat's black. Stay with me, I'll get this mess cleaned up. Oh, look at that. That is another very good squid. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that and picked up a few little handy hints along the way. Got me bag of squid, 9 squid and a cuttlefish, which I released. I've kept the 9. Those squid are all monsters. The average squid in there today is about that 37, 38 centimetre. There's 2 that are probably 26, 27s. The rest are 38 to 40 centimetre. That is a very, very big bag of squid. That's some snapper baits taken care of for sure. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Tight lines. See you on the water soon.